Today's video, the subtle ways fear disguises itself as discernment. Now, that can be really confusing as a parent, especially when you know you love and care deeply about your child. And that is the difference between fear and discernment. Sometimes they can feel very similar. You could get a thought like, something feels off, and you don't know, is this God showing me something or is this fear pulling me somewhere? And if you don't know the difference, you can end up reacting in ways that don't actually help the situation. But first, let's define both. Discernment is a calm awareness. It doesn't rush you, it doesn't overwhelm you. It gives you clarity without pulling you into panic. Fear, on the other hand, feels urgent. It pushes you. It makes you feel like you need to act right now. It pulls your mind into worst case scenarios and it doesn't settle. That's one of the biggest differences. Discernment may say, something isn't right here. And then it allows you to pause so you can pray and then respond with wisdom. But fear says something is wrong and you need to do something about it right now. Do you hear the difference? One brings awareness and the other brings pressure. So let me give you a real example. Let's say your child is in a situation that you're not comfortable with. Discernment might look like, okay, this doesn't feel like a good direction. And it leads you to pray, to stay aware, to respond carefully. But fear looks like, this is going to get worse, or I need to step in before something happens. And now your response comes from that place. And usually that leads to reacting. Maybe you say something quickly, or you push too hard, or maybe you try to control the situation or the person. And afterward, it don't feel right because fear will always pull you out of a steady place. When you are under pressure, your thoughts get louder. And when your thoughts get louder, fear can start sounding like discernment because it feels real, it feels important, it feels like something you shouldn't ignore. But just because it feels strong don't mean it's true. That is why we have to slow this down because discernment will still be there when you pause. Fear needs you to move quickly, okay? So here's something I want you to start doing. When you feel that sense of something is off, pause and ask yourself, is this pulling me into urgency or allowing me to stay grounded? Because that will tell you a lot. Discernment will keep you steady, but fear will pull you out of it. And this is where spiritual maturity grows, not by reacting faster, but by slowing down enough to recognize what's leading you. Now, let's take this one step deeper. Sometimes fear disguises itself as responsibility, and it sounds like I need to do something, or if I don't step in, who will? And that feels right at first, but underneath it is pressure. And that pressure will push you back into carrying instead of covering. Now, we've already talked about this. That is not your position. Your position is not to control, it's to stay aligned, to pray, to respond with wisdom, not panic. And this is why this matters so much. Because if you can't tell the difference between fear and discernment, you'll keep reacting in ways that don't actually bring peace. And then afterward, you feel drained. So if you've been feeling like, I don't know what to trust right now, start here. Slow it down. You don't have to react immediately and you don't have to figure it out instantly. Give yourself some space to settle because what's from God will still be clear when you're calm. So, in the next video, We're going to build on this even more. And I want to show you how to pray with authority without feeling like you have to force anything. Once you understand how to stay grounded and how to recognize what's leading you, your prayer life begins to shift, not from pressure, but from alignment. But for now, just start noticing what feels urgent and what feels steady, because that difference will change how you respond.